Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Catalina Gillies. Thunder Bay has one of the most relaxed fireworks bylaws in the province, but City Council is set to debate some new restrictions tomorrow evening. Fireworks can currently be set off on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, the Lunar New Year, Victoria Day, Canada Day, the August Civic Holiday, and Labor Day. They can also be discharged during the 3 days leading up to any of those holidays. But it's being proposed that the list be trimmed to just New Year's Eve, Canada Day, and the Civic Holiday. And the 3 days of lead-up time may also be reduced to just the evening before. Also on Monday, Council is being asked to approve the parameters of an expression of interest process for private developers who want to build an indoor turf facility on city property. Those parameters include minimum requirements for any plan that's submitted. The city is looking for private sector partners after councillors balked at the $46 million price tag of the facility the city had planned to build on its own. The Anishinaabe Nation has announced the candidates running for the position of Grand Chief for the Non-Executive Council. Earlier today, Head Electoral Officer Jocelyn Formsma verified the nominations of Derek Fox from Bearskin Lake First Nation and Bruce Shishish from Attawapiskat First Nation. There are also 8 candidates for the 3 positions of Deputy Grand Chief. The official campaign launched yesterday and runs until August 9th. Chiefs from the NAN's 49 First Nations community will vote on August 11th during the 39th Keewatin Conference. Despite the provincial reopening framework being moved up, Ontario provincial police officers will stay at the Manitoba-Ontario border until at least the 16th of June. Officers have been stationed at the border since April 18th, checking with travelers as to the nature of their visit to the province. And aside from an incident involving the followers of an anti-mask freedom convoy, things have run smoothly. Constable Jason Canfield is with the Kenora OPP. He says hundreds of vehicles pass through the checkpoint every day, with fewer than 10 vehicles being turned away. He also notes the checkpoint has yielded some unexpected results.
We are finding some people coming across, whether it be something like we're concerned of impairments, we pull them off to the side. We've had some people get some tickets for having cannabis readily available to the driver. There's been people arrested for warrants at the border. Nothing major though. Those are just sort of little surprises, I guess, for us.
At this time, the checkpoint is expected to be removed on June 16th, despite the reopening framework starting ahead of schedule, which Canfield believes is a result of the situation in Manitoba. Earlier this week, Kenora was one of the big recipients of COVID resilience funding. The project that the money is going towards is only one of many projects currently on the go in the city of 16,000. Adam Riley has the details.
There's a lot of positive things happening. It's an exciting time.
Many communities across the province are beginning to reopen following the easing of restrictions, and Ontario's westernmost city is no different, especially on the infrastructure front. Kenora Mayor Dan Raynard says city staff hit the ground running when it came to improving city assets like roadways, including the East Highway.
That's a multi-year project, and we might even get everything completed before the end of this term of council. I believe it was a 3-year project, but you saw quickly, so things have fallen into place for us. And the contractors have been amazing.
Another project well underway is the improvements to Central Park, as one ball diamond and the skating rink have been demolished to make way for a modernized park. But before that can begin, Raynard says water and sewer work needs to be completed.
Before we build on top, let's redo everything underneath. So in the next couple months, we'll see all that underground infrastructure will be replaced. Right now, the specs are out for the drawings of what the facility will look like. There'll be a paved pad, which will be the secondary kind of skating pad, which will be used for basketball courts in the summer. There'll be a bocce court and the new clubhouse.
Raynard is also excited following an announcement of $227,000 from the federal and provincial governments in COVID recovery funding, which is going to improve the city's recreation center. The money will allow them to bring the summer ice program to that facility, which will free up the Keewatin Arena for other purposes.
The benefit and the beauty of the Keewatin Arena is right on the water, and it hosts, we've got boat ramps there, and it'll allow us to move a lot of vehicle and boat trailer traffic off the streets into the parking lot, which it'll be better for everybody within the community.
With all that work being done and the easing of restrictions, Raynard is feeling very confident that the city will be back to its vibrant summer self by the end of the month. Adam Riley, TBT News.
The towns of Red Rock and Nipigon took a big step towards inclusivity this past week by raising a pride flag in association with Rainbow Collective of Thunder Bay. Our new reporter Mitchell Ringos has the story.
A few months ago, the townships of Red Rock and Nipigon received presentations to their respective councils to start the initiative of raising a pride flag. The councils both backed the idea and the flags were raised on Tuesday. In Red Rock, the community came out to support the event and seems to be fully on board with the pride movement. Mayor Darkeese Robinson says this is a historic step for the small communities to show that they are a safe and inclusive environment.
Red Rock is a welcoming community, so I think like all small communities, we want people to know, our residents to know, that we support them. You know, we support gender and sexual diversity, and really all small communities are that way. They just need to put their, best efforts forward and move along with the process.
Meanwhile, it was a similar story in nearby Nipigon. Acting Mayor James Folds spoke about how the raising of a pride flag will affect his community.
It just demonstrates that as a small community, we welcome everybody here. Everybody has the right to live the way they would like to live, as long as they do it in a peaceful manner, and everybody should show respect for everybody being involved. So I think it just shows that Nipigon is an all-inclusive community.
Pride flags were donated by the Rainbow Collective of Thunder Bay, which also helped facilitate the events. President Jason Veltri hopes this will be a domino effect that will spread pride across many other small towns, which will also join in.
Pride matters. This matters for communities like Red Rock and Nipigon. This is a big step for small communities to make. But this will change lives, and it will likely save lives. And it improves the quality of life within their communities. This is really what we're here to do.
Veltri says he will raise the pride flags in any community that wants them, and that this is just the first stepping stone in the pride movement. Mitchell Ringos, TBT News.
A computer science professor at Lakehead University has received a $36,000 promo science grant from the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada. Vijay Mago is using it to develop a coding program in collaboration with the Office of Indigenous Initiatives. The results of Mago's work will introduce Indigenous youth to modern computer science skills and approaches through a 6-week program. It'll be delivered by a skilled LU computer science graduate as a new component of existing NIJI mentorship programs that services over 4,000 Indigenous students each year. The goal is to inspire those youth to pursue STEM-based education and careers in the fields of computer science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. NIJI Indigenous Mentorship Program Coordinator Lisa Harris says the Indigenous component will be integrated within the new program.
We'll be doing the same with this as well. So we'll be looking at incorporating an Indigenous worldview, culturally appropriate curriculum and activities as well, so that it's more relatable to those students.
This would really provide an opportunity for, as Lisa said, for our young people to not have to leave communities and constantly have that brain drain in order to seek employment, but actually to have gainful employment in their own communities.
Baxter sees the program expanding beyond the work done this year, with the hope to grow the program into high schools and later all levels of elementary schools throughout the Northwest. Thunder Bay will be hosting the Northern Ontario Disc Golf Championship later this summer. Organizers and city personnel hit the courses on Saturday to make sure everything is in good standings for such a major event. Brianne Foley was on location.
Thunder Bay disc golf courses saw site evaluations this weekend in preparation for the Northern Ontario Disc Golf Championships. This may be the first major championship the city will host since the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020. Tourism Development Officer John Cameron is excited about the impact this tournament will have on the city.
From a local standpoint, since March we haven't had any events here. I think this is just a way to kickstart a sport tourism event that brings visitors from out of town and participants from out of town and just shows that they have confidence to travel again. And it's going to have a big impact on our local hotel and motel industry that's been hit hard by the pandemic.
This is the first big event for the association since COVID, and will see people coming from BC to Nova Scotia. Chris Zolins, executive director of the Ontario Disc Sports Association, says Thunder Bay is an ideal spot to host the first major tournament of the season. Having been the director for 6 years, he's seen the sport grow, specifically in Northern Ontario.
I said, we got to go check out the North. We represent all of Ontario. Came up here, played a small event they had, and I said, wow, these courses are fantastic. It's kind of a hidden gem in Ontario. It's 15 hours away from us in Hamilton, Toronto area. And, we need to do more for this. So we started throwing tournaments. We started small. We had, I think, 15, then we had 25, then we had 36 players, then almost 60 last year. And now we have 170.
Both Dragon Hills and Bayview golf courses will be venues for the tournament, and Birch Point Disc Golf is pending city approval. With the number of high-ranked athletes attending, according to Azolins, the competition should be fierce.
But we've got quite a few of Ontario's, or of Canada's top professionals coming to this. And then, depending on your age or your gender, there's a division for everyone to compete.
The tournament kicks off the August long weekend, and with many competitors coming from across Canada, Thunder Bay hopes to see a much-needed boost in tourism. Brianne Foley, TBT News.
Joined with me now is Avery McRae. Avery, Thunder Bay golfers were getting at it this weekend.
Yeah, some local golf action happening here. I love having some local sports. We got those highlights when we come back.